everyone, welcome to Southern Wreaths. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Today I'm just going to do a quick bonus video. I'm going to show you how I made this Easter bow. I'm going to use scissors, my Bowdabra, my cutting mat, and these two different ribbons. They're both 2.5 inches and they're both wired. The reason I have my cutting mat is to help me measure my loops and my tail. I'm going to measure the tail at 10 inches. I'm going to go ahead and cut the dovetail in the end of the ribbon. You can do this at the end if you want. I prefer using my Bowdabra because it's so easy to pull out and put back. Other machines are a little bit bulkier. I had to reposition because when I trimmed it, I took away too much. Okay, so if you saw there, I laid it in there, I twisted away from myself, and now I'm looping the ribbon. So I'm measuring my loop to 6 inches, and then again, I'm going to twist away from myself. It's not important which way you twist, it's just make sure you twist each time so the pretty side of your ribbon is facing out. It's also the part of your ribbon that naturally curls. So I'm just going to measure out to make sure both of them are at 6 inches on either side. So this basically will make a 12-inch bow. And I'm just going to continue stacking. And I'm going to use the previous loop to help me determine how big to make the next loop. All of these orange loops on the back are the exact same size. Okay, so now when I get to my third loop, I like to open up the other loops so I can have an idea of how many loops I want to make. Sorry, I'm saying loops so much. But this just helps me determine if I want to do 3, 4, 5, depending on how full it looks in the back. Me personally, when I'm making a bow, I want to make sure that the back is really sturdy. So I want to have full coverage on the back part of the bow. I'm going to trim it at 10 inches so it's the same as the other tail. And I'm going to go ahead and dovetail this one as well. And you just fold it in half long ways and cut from the wire to the crease at an angle. So now I'm just going to kind of fluff it to get an idea of what it's going to look like, and now I'm going to do my next layer. I'm only using 2 kinds of ribbon, but you could use as much ribbon as you want, as many different colors as you like. Now I'm just going to measure out the tails for the carrot ribbon. I'm going to go ahead and dovetail the end, that way I don't have to pull more out, so I tend to trim off a little too much. And again, I'm just using my mat to measure. Right here, I'm just trying to figure out exactly how big I want my tails to be, so I'm going to go with 10 inches again. I just want all the tails to be about the same size. I twisted as I was putting it in, so you could put it in and then twist it. It's completely up to you. So I'm going to make this loop slightly smaller than the other, and you can see here it's 5 inches. I just base it off of how far in it is from the previous bow or loop. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, another 5-inch loop. Again, twisting away and pulling it over. And then I just use the previous loop to make sure it's the same size as the one before it. It took me a little while to get semi-confident at making bows, so just don't give up, just keep trying, because it's worth it in the long run. No one's ever, well, some people aren't. I am never 100% happy with the way my bows turn out. I usually go back and fluff them several times. All right, now I'm just going to fluff it all out. And I did 3 on each side of the check ribbon as well. Now I'm just going to measure out and cut my last tail. Again, I'm going to dovetail as I go. You can do that at the end. You can also add your tails at the end. You would just make your tails really small in the actual Bowdabra, and then on the back you would add your ribbon strings or pieces to make your tails. Sometimes that's actually easier. So I decided to cut a piece of ribbon and just do just a piece of ribbon in there just to give it a little bit of contrast, a little something different. And I'm going to dovetail those ends. And you can make it as big or as small as you want. I believe I measured it 12 inches. And you could do several of those if you wanted to. Since I'm only using 2 different ribbons, I'm wanting to alternate so it doesn't get too busy. And I'm just going to make my last loop, just a single loop in the center, just to finish my bow. And that's at about 11 inches. You could probably get away with 10 or 12, whichever, because it slightly overlaps. Just going to place it. I'm going to place it on top. It's hard to add it into the Bowdabra without crinkling it. So I'm just going to place it on top and then wrap my pipe cleaner around. You can also already have the pipe cleaner in there, or you can use wire or a zip tie. Whatever you have is fine. I always use pipe cleaner so I can attach them to my wreath. Alright, once I have everything in there, I'm going to pull it really tight. You can see I'm like pushing on the ribbon because I want this to be super tight. I don't want anything to come loose as I'm fluffing my bow because I'm pretty aggressive when I'm fluffing it. Normally I don't leave in when I fluff the bow because it's basically the same thing over and over again, but I thought I would just show you since this is a bow video. You stick your hand inside of the loop and then you spread your fingers and kind of position it where you want it. My rule of thumb is when I have equal numbers is I try to alternate as I'm fluffing. So what I mean by that is if there's an orange on the back, in between the 2 oranges I try to add the black one. You'll kind of see what I mean as I go. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that's just kind of an idea so you get a good look at all the colors. And I would literally fluff a bow for a very long time because sometimes I'm just not happy with it. So don't feel bad if it takes you a while. But that's it. That's how I made my Easter bow. If y'all have any questions, please be sure to leave them in the comments below, or you can email me at craftingwithlee@yahoo.com. Thanks so much for watching, and please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.